welcome to another episode of It's Crystal Clear, a show that's designed to help you to know where your money goes instead of always wondering where it went. My name is Felicia Young, and I have over 15 years experience in helping people live their best lives within budget. So, in a previous episode, we talked about living by the 10, 10, and 80 rule. The first 10% of your before tax income, tithe. The second 10% of your before tax income to save, and the 80% to live off of. And I promised you all that we were going to dive deeper into those numbers. So today I have a very special guest with me to talk about God and why we should tithe. This person is my friend. This person is my mentor. This person is my boss. And he's my pastor, the pastor of the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church in Beaumont, Texas, Dr. John R. Adolph. Welcome.
So honored.
So it's crystal
I'm
clear.
so filled with a sense of awe and joy and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the progress, the success, all of that. And I am happy to be on here with you. God bless you and crystal clear and all of the other things that you lay your hands on.
Thank you very much. So as you know, we're helping people this year. We're eliminating debt. The goal is to eliminate $25 million by the end of the year. We're changing mindsets, we're changing lifestyles, and we're going to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So today you're here to help us to understand tithing. So as simple as possible, can you explain to everyone what is a tithe?
Wait, first I want to say sola deo gloria because we watched God pay off $22 million worth of church debt and church loans on this campus for the buildings that we currently reside in, for our youth and children's activity center, for our fellowship hall, for our admin complex, and for the worship center. $22 million. I sat and watched God walk us through a pandemic, walk us through, okay, it's a hurricane, will people keep giving? God is faithful. I want to begin right there. As it relates to tithing, the simplest way to understand tithing is simply remember this one phrase, dime on a dollar. That's it. If you can put a dime on a dollar, you'll always remember the premise and principle of tithing. Wait, it's never seen inflation. So in 1904, it was a dime. In 1914, it was a dime. In 1924, it was a dime. 34, 54, 64, 74. It's been a dime the whole time. So for you to tithe is to say, God, here's your dime. For you not to tithe says, God, you're not worth 10 cents to me. It is a dime. That is the simplest way to understand tithing. Dime on a dollar. That's it.
Okay. So people may say, if God owns everything, why does he need a dime from us?
So here's the truth. God doesn't need a dime from you. God is trying to get you to the place where you're so wealthy, all you need is a dime. Imagine your wealth at this juncture where all you need to survive because God has given you so much is a dime. You see, if you're God, you're going to give me the dime and keep the 90. God says, nope, I want you to give me the dime and you keep the 90. And I'm going to bless your 90 so much until one of these days, because of your faithfulness towards me and my unswerving faithfulness toward you, you will live on a dime and not have use for the 90. So the real truth of the matter is, Felicia, it's not about God needing our money. It's us needing God to bless what he's given us. I want God to bless the money he's given me. So what do? God, here's your dime. Does that make sense? So it's not even about God needing our money, and if he's so rich, why he need my 10 cents? Not even about that. It is really about a premise that says you can do it your way and gain riches, or do it God's way and gain wealth. And the wealth that you get, the Bible says God gives us power to gain wealth. That wealth comes from radical obedience, faithfulness, and stewardship. You can't erase either one of these now. Radical obedience. Here is the dime. No matter what you think it may cost to sacrifice, it's equal across the playing field. For Mark Zuckerberg, it's a dime. For the beggar I just gave $1 to on College Street on the corner that said I will work for food, it's a dime. It's the same amount of money. It's the same. The issue is, where is your heart regarding it? When I hear people say things like, if God is so rich, why does he need my money? I always think to myself, that no matter what you tell me, if God needed your money, we would both be broke. Does that make sense? Because how far can your money go? Even if you had the money of the wealthiest person in the world, how far can you go? What government can you buy? How many continents can you run? The real truth of the matter is, even though you may be extremely rich, you're still on the short end when regards to God. He's the owner of everything. The Bible says very clearly that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof and everything in it. So it's not like God needs your 10 cents. You want God to bless your 90 cents so that your 10 cent grows.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So we are trying to get out of debt. We're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm having to choose between gas, groceries, and keeping my lights on. How can I honestly trust what you're saying in the previous comment when I'm struggling over here trying to figure out how to keep my family together? How do I trust God with giving him money that I really don't have?
Okay, so first of all, I want to be clear. This is not a trick, it's a trust. I get so tired of watching people, preachers who are prophets who make big profit on tricking people. This is not a trick. I don't have no trick up my sleeve. This is not an abracadabra moment. This is not that. It is a trust. When I meet people who often say to me, Pastor, I can't afford to tithe, my ready, faithful comment is, you can't afford not to. If you're struggling already and things are tight and you're working every day and you still don't have resources left, that means, in my opinion, you can't afford not to give. You want God to bless what you're doing. So here's what I tell you to do. As a trust in God, test him. Malachi 3 says, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. The word prove in the Hebrew means to put to the test. Test me. Isn't it amazing? Most of the time it's God testing us. You know, he'll test your faith. He'll test your trust. He'll test your belief. You know, God gives tests. But this is the one place where God says, I want you to test me. So wait a minute. With these tests comes moments of sincere and devout stewardship as well. Sometimes it's not really about you choosing between your light bill, your gas, and your food. It's really between Starbucks and a place you're finna go, or a party you're going to attend, or a hotel you're about to book. So many times I watch people just misprioritize resources. And then when it gets to God, he comes in last place and there's nothing left. It's what offends God most. Can I tell you a secret? It's why God accepted one offering and it rejected another. If you read the book of Genesis, there's a story there, and we've been talking about based on a true story, of Cain and Abel. And the Bible says ultimately that Cain killed Abel. But the reason why he was wroth and angry was because Abel gave God of the firstlings off the top. Here is what I want to give God. Cain gave God some of what was left. It's amazing. We think God accepts whatever we give because we gave it, and that's not true. God says, if I'm going to put you in first place in my heart, I want you to feel the same way about me and yours. So take God's off of the top, right off. That's the easiest way to give that, is to just make sure you give it right off the top. And then from there, it's about management, appropriation, and stewardship. How you steward the rest of that. And you'll be amazed. If you just cut out little habits like cigarettes, put those down. You'll be amazed at what that's going to save. Wait, how much is that alcohol? Woo! Put that down. You know, what happens is we treat ourselves. I deserve this. So we'll go on a break, take a break, spend money we don't have, and then have to borrow money for a light bill or a gas bill. We see it happen all of the time. And it's not to talk badly to anybody. It's just about how you position yourself, how you prioritize those resources, and where is God in the scope of that. When you fall in love with God, he will know it because it'll show with what comes out of your hand. You understand that? Because where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart is. So you can tell right away where the priority of God is in your life by looking at where the gift comes in. If you're like most Christians, God is somewhere in the middle. Oh yeah, let me give God his. But if you're with people who have seen God take poverty and give you plenty, they will run to you and say, excuse me. I'll never forget one day, Felicia, we were in church. The Spirit just bathed us. Just the presence of God was so thick in the building. And I forgot to receive gifts. I'm not those pastors who take up one offering and we came up short and doing it. We have a minute and 30 seconds to give money. And I forgot. And this lady, after I gave the benediction, ran up to me. She said, Pastor, you forgot to receive my gift. And I said, oh, you can give it next Sunday. She said, no. I live on a fixed income. And I need for God to keep fixing it. So wait, once you get used to this, it becomes something that makes you say, I refuse not to do this. This is a part of what I am and who I am. And I'm not doing it because I get a trick out of it. I do it because I watch God bless my treasure every time, because there's never a need for me. And I like that. That's what makes tithing so real.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, so the next question is, for those who know you, we see you. You dress nice, you drive nice, you live nice, your church is very, very nice. Tell us a transparent, true story of you being at your rock bottom when you had a dime and you trusted God with a penny.
Oh, God. Okay, so I have so many. So if you catch me here at Antioch, people have always thought we've had way more resources than what we really have. When the truth is, we've had more burdens sometimes than we've had money. So I've literally seen God just roll up in a turkey truck. In fact, it's become our kind of faithful, joking vernacular. Y'all, we were trying to give away turkeys for Thanksgiving, and we had no money. Do you understand? We had just a little bit in our church checking account, but our desire to bless God's people was just real. And an attorney called me and said, Pastor Adolph, I have this truck full of Tyson's turkeys. Can you help me deliver these? I said, yeah. Okay, cool, great. And 20 minutes later, a Tyson turkey truck just pulled up onto our premises. And I said, don't tell me what God is so faithful. I have so many stories, but one that I always tell was my first test. When I have tests now, I love them because I got a checkbook and a pen, because I know what God's about to do. It's not about that person. It's about him trusting me and blessing me. So I live with an open hand like this. I'm like, hey, God, which way you want me to get this money? Because I believe in that. I was at Mount Corinth Baptist Church, Felicia, in Houston, Texas. Posthumous pastor and prelate, Dr. A. Lewis Passon was their under shepherd, and Mount Corinth was just a place where I could go to hear God. Hold on, I love my father's preaching, loved every word he would teach me. He would have been 94 years old the other day, but nevertheless, just I could hear God at Mount Corinth, so I would go to Mount Corinth. And I went to Mount Corinth, and I sat there, but for whatever reason that night, for the evening service, I couldn't hear a thing. It was just like, like Charlie Brown almost. Walk, just nothing. I got ready to go after I gave the benediction, and when I got to the door, I could feel a pull in my heart from God to go and give Terry Brown, who is a pastor in Los Angeles right now. So Terry, if you're watching this, I'm telling this true story. Add something in the comment section because you know I'm telling the truth. God told me, go and find Terry and give him $100. True story. I only had $100. I'm down to my last $100. Hold on, for the month. So I'm between a rock, a hard place, and a Grand Canyon full of rocks and glass. You hear me? So whenever God gives you information like that, or pulls something on you like that, or tugs at you, you get hard of hearing. Who, me? When? Not me. So I did not stop at that door. I walked all the way to my car. Across the street in a park, was right across the street, and the Lord just rebuked me and said, go take him that $100. With an attitude, Felicia, I turned around and walked back in the building, asked this usher with attitude, where can I find Reverend Terry Brown? He over there. So I went over there, what she told me, couldn't find him. That was good enough for me. I said, Jesus, I tried to find him. I couldn't find him. While I'm getting ready to walk out the door, Terry is coming through the backside of this foyer down a few steps. He said, John, Big John. And I said, man, what's up? I'm not happy to see him. I'm not happy to see him because this is my last 100. And I said, hey, man, God told me to give you this. Put it in his hand. He starts to cry. Oh, man, only God knows. And I'm not happy, this is my, I feel no sense of empathy, pity, or apathy at all. I give him the $100. We hug. We embrace him. Man, I got to go. I got to work tomorrow morning. And I go to work the next day, the very next day. And there's a shutdown in my unit. And it's during the holiday season. They tell me, you have to work. You can't go home. And you'll have to work the night shift. So I didn't know anything about night differential, holiday pay, and I didn't know anything else about double time and a half. No one told me. I was completely oblivious. It had never happened for me. I've been on my job over a year. I'm working, and we got paid every week on that Friday. Good Friday ain't just good if you believe in Jesus now. It was Good Friday for us every Friday. When I got my check that Friday, my God, when I opened up that envelope, we didn't have debit cards and all that. You got to open the envelope. When I opened the envelope, my check was right at $10,000 for the gross amount. I said, Jesus, do you have anybody else who needs $100? Wait, hold on. From that moment, I started learning to trust God. Of course, I'm a single man. After taxes, I brought home like $7,200. But would you swap 100 for 7,200? I would. Now, this is not a trick. I do not talk trickery here. That I don't want you to leave this broadcast thinking it's a trick, I'm going to do it. No. It's a trust where you're trying. It's a big difference in between these two. Trust God and try him. And I promise you, it will never fail. When people ask me now, Felicia, do you tithe? I tell them, nope. Who wants to do that? I give God what's left. Hold on, Lord, how much can I give you? Give you all of that. Take it. Why? Because I know without a doubt there are doors open I don't even know that exist. There are ways it's going to make that I cannot see or put my hand on. So, just from a turkey truck full of Tyson turkeys that I couldn't have bought 10 of them. We didn't have the money. God just sent that truck. To us doing hurricane work, where we are completely out of resources, zeroed out, and God sends trucks from New York, New Jersey, people you don't even know, Baton Rouge, people who may be listen to me, skinheads and all. I have watched God make people just open their hand to us and say, here's what I want you to have. And it's because we're faithful with the tithe that he gives us. So I can go on and on and on. It's revelatory truth that is biblical and redemptive at best for you to say, hold on, this is the dime in my hand. It's my testing ground. And with it comes blessing, period. That's it.
Wow. Okay. So in the Bible, it says that we need to give our time, our talent, and our treasure.
Yes.
Why can't I just give my time and my talent? Why do I have to give my treasure?
The treasure is a test of the heart. So money is a test for the heart. Jesus told us, I aforementioned this earlier, that you can know where your treasure is, where your heart is, by looking at where you spend your treasure. So treasure is a test of the heart. That's what the Bible teaches us. So for you to give God your time and not your treasure says, I'll let you borrow me, but I want to keep the money. Mm-hmm. If you give God a part of your talent, you'll say, hey, God, I'm going to let you, have a little bit of my skill set because you did give it to me, but I'm going to keep my treasure. Treasure is the only test of the heart. So that's why we do that. That's why we believe such. It's because it's the true test. And if you look at where you spend your money right now, it will tell you what's most important to you. I don't care how wealthy or poor you are. Show me where you spend your cash. I'll show you what's important.
Wow. Okay. And so finally, we have people who are trying really hard to make a change this year. We're getting feedback from audience members. They're doing amazing work. They're trusting what we're telling them to do, and they are seeing results. I need you to give your John R. Adolph words to encourage these people to keep on keeping on, even when the light bill comes, even when a death comes, even when life happens, still move forward.
How you view your life will be how you live your life. If you think life is a brawl, you'll fight it every day. If you think life is a mountain, you'll try to climb it or move it every moment. How you perceive your life is how you're going to live it. I want you to know as a Christian, life is a test. Everything comes at us. It's not about it. It's really about us. It's about you. There's going to be moments where you're going to have to choose between using the tithe and giving the tithe. And at that moment, you just have to tell yourself, this is a test I plan to pass because God is worth the dime that he put in my hand. Hold on. Just keep this premise in your mind. To not tithe is to tell God you're not worth 10 cents. Keep this in mind. It's a test. Don't fail. Take what belongs to God off of the top. And remember, there are inextricable, undeniable blessings that are attached to that. There are windows in heaven waiting to be opened. Windows, meaning that God will bless you from different directions. Your family, your health, your finances, your resources, your recourses, your path. God says, I want to delight myself in blessing all of that for you. And it's tied to one thin dime. You can't, just don't let the blessing pass you. Hold on to that, be faithful to that, and you'll see God bless everything that you put your hands on because you're faithful with the resources he puts in your hand.
Thank you for that. So this is the end of our episode, and this was an amazing episode. I hope it's blessed you as much as it's blessing me. So remember, we have goals to hit, and you all are doing such amazing work, amazing job reaching each one of your goals, and I'm just so proud of you. Remember, I want you to dream big, and I want you to focus, and I want you to live an amazing life on budget. Until next time, live crystal clear.